It's a pleasure. Hello, everyone. Hello. It's great to be here today. Another great opportunity, another great honor, another great privilege to be able to share something that is so dear to my heart. And this message is power. Now, if you look in the dictionary, the definition for power is the capacity, the ability to move, to direct, to travel. But it doesn't give a definition of what it is. Because power is a presence. And I'd like to invite everyone, notice there's no PowerPoints, because I don't want to point your power to the screen. I want to redirect your power within. So I would invite every one of you, if you choose to close your eyes if you'd like, and to feel that presence, to feel that power inside of you. So if we can all take a deep, cleansing, purifying breath of consciousness, of awareness, of spirit, of unconditional love. Exhale. Exhale all limitations, all perspectives, all resistance, all expectations. Open your mind, empty your cup, open your heart, and receive the presence. Now, many teachers have attempted to talk about this presence. One great master, Jesus, talked about the kingdom, but he said the kingdom is like. He said it's like, for it cannot be spoken. It can only be experienced. And it is my honor, it is my privilege, it is my great pleasure, but my greater honor, to attempt to express, to redirect you and guide you back to this presence. And I know I will not do it justice, but I will do my very best. Now, when I talk about this presence, I don't talk about a power with muscles. I don't talk about a power with force, with grit, with great strength in this physical dimension. When I talk about a power, it is a surrendering to that presence. It is the opposite of what we've been taught. The more you try to control it, the more you try to hold on to it, the more you try to affect it, the more we lose. Because this power, it comes from within. It's not gained outside of ourselves. It's not harnessed outside of ourselves. It is accessed from a deep space within ourselves when we give ourselves the permission, when we give ourselves the time and the attention to bring awareness back to our breath. So let's just be aware of the breath in this moment. For breath in many, many languages means life, means spirit. Let's be aware of spirit. And let's just take a moment and breathe. Now do me a favor, everyone. In this moment, bring your hand to your heart. I would like for you to feel your heart in this moment. For there is a presence that you feel the power of the heart. That is a communication from spirit. The thoughts may waver. You may have good, you may have bad thoughts, what we call good and bad thoughts. You may have emotions that are resistant and that are fluid. But there's one thing for sure that never changes as long as we are in this body, and that is the heartbeat. That is the communication of the unconditional love, of the power or the presence of spirit speaking to you in every moment. This we cannot doubt. We can doubt our thoughts. We can doubt our emotions or the emotions. We can doubt perspectives. We can doubt everything. But one thing that we cannot doubt is the presence of that heartbeat that is beyond our thoughts, beyond the emotions, beyond the judgments, beyond everything is that heartbeat. And it is the language of vibration. How do we tune into this power? How do we experience this power, this presence? We surrender, we let go, and we connect. If we look at all the great masters and teachers, you'll find one common thread. They all surrendered. It wasn't how strong they were. It wasn't how smart they were. It wasn't how educated they were. It wasn't how philosophical or intelligent or even where they came from, their parents, if they were in a great lineage of royalty, because that does not matter. What matters is the presence. We become a channel when we surrender. When I try to direct this and I control this, I fall on my knees. Life humbles me. But when I surrender and I say, Spirit, what do you want me in life for? What is my purpose? And you listen to that and you follow that. You become the channel. But when we feel that communication and we doubt it and we ignore it, then we fall, may I say victim, because we're not victims, but we fall asleep and we listen to the programs, to the beliefs that we've been taught, that we've been told. But there is one truth that we all share, and that is the presence. And that is beyond all truths. That is the truth. And when we surrender to this truth, we follow. And we're not the strength, not my will, but thy higher will be done. And when we listen to this will, we have the powers that creates universes, galaxies, planets, stars, plants. Look at nature. Look at the evidence of the presence of nature. It doesn't struggle to thrive. It thrives when we give it the ability to. But when we dig up that seed doubting that it's growing, we're trying to control that. That is what we do in our lives. That is what we do in our circumstances when we try to control others, when we try to control ourselves and judging ourselves. Love is the key to this presence. And when I speak of love, I speak of unconditional love. Unconditional love is that presence. And only in surrender do we truly experience unconditional love, power, presence. So I ask you, when you're going through a challenging day, don't try to control it. Don't try to fight it. You can't. We'll lose. Surrender to it. Let it teach you. Let it remind you that it's not your will, it's higher will. And when you come to this higher will, you will realize the emotion was just a guide to bring you back to yourself. It's telling you that you're losing direction, you're losing communication, and you're listening to the world. Listen to the presence of Spirit, and you will overcome every challenge. And yes, this is the presence of healing. This is the presence of transformation. So when we speak about power, I say power, but to me that word doesn't exist. We use power to say the manifestation of that. But it is not power. It is a presence. It is a infinite, eternal, spaceless, limitless presence. Connect with this space And the more and more you do this, the more you will experience that it's not how much you know. It's not where you come from. It's not who your parents are. It's not what country you live. It's not what you've been taught. It's who you are. When you match with the presence of who you are, things seem to start matching up. And I'd like to give you guys a visual. When you look in the mirror and you try to change the image in the mirror without changing your image, is that possible? That's impossible. The only way to change the image in the mirror is to realize the transformation within. That is what we try to do every day when we try to change ourselves and others. We expect it to be like getting in the mirror and changing that image, fighting with the mirror, blaming the mirror, instead of realizing it's us. Take every day and look at the world like a reflection. And the more you see the world as a reflection, you realize that the world doesn't need to change. You transform, and the world transforms. In conclusion, to experience this power, this presence, I'm going to ask you all to do me a favor. Stop trying to change who you are. You can't change who you are. Transform who you are. Because I don't want to change that connection that I have with Spirit, but I do want to transform the limitations and the resistance that keep me from experiencing that presence, which we call power. So every day, take a minute, take a couple minutes, and find that still point. Find that point of power, or the power point within you. Every day, take the time to learn from your greatest teacher, which is your inner spirit. And the more your vibrational ears will hear what your physical ears can't, the more your vibrational eyes will see what your physical eyes can't, the more your vibrational being will be in tune with your physical body can't. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is strong. We depend so much on this physical body, but we forget where this physical body comes from. We forget where all things come from. That is where we all meet. That is the unity, the samadhi point of existence. We are all vibration. And when we all take the time to be still and find the silence within ourselves, that's where we join each other in harmony. And that is where we will start to hear each other. That is where we will start to see each other. That is where we will start more and more experiencing each other. Because when we ignore this fundamental point, then we get distracted with the illusions and the programs that tell us who we are. Let's let go of trying to figure out who we are. And let's allow who we are to come through. You are powerful beings. Just being alive is the evidence of the power of spirit within you. Just as nature thrives, so does your body. But when we forget the spirit, when we forget where we come from, that's when it seems like everything is against us. Nothing is against us, for everything is us. Everything is spirit. One example I'd like to give is in Zen. There's a saying, before enlightenment, climb up the hill and bring water. Get water. Then you come back down. After enlightenment, you climb up the hill and you get water and bring water. What is the difference? The act is not the difference. It is the relationship with you, with life. Before, we would go up the mountain upset that we got to carry this water. This is heavy. Getting angry, getting frustrated, complaining about everything. What's changed? When we are enlightened, when we are aware, we realize that we can transform those things. That we are not paralyzed. We are not restricted, imprisoned by thoughts, by emotions. We realize we are free, and we have always been free. Ever since of the time that we were a child, and we said no, and defiled, rebelled against what we were told. We always had the freedom of choice. Take your freedom back. Find that point of power, that presence within you every day, and realize your truth. Realize your greatness. Give yourselves permission with unconditional love to realize the truth of who you are. Thank you. Namaste.